apologize. One of the things that gets on our nerve sometime because we know that the wives are wrong. Sometimes y'all be wrong now.
I'm not okay, so
sometimes y'all be stubborn and y'all know y'all wrong, but it's something. But I know now, and hopefully whoever's listening as a husband and even as a wife, to help you to understand the why. Number one, husbands are the leaders. So we talk a lot about that, and so we should be the first. But then what we discovered is that the main need for a woman is security.
Every time we have this conversation, hearts are breaking, face to face, but we don't know how to face it. Yeah, we're done, but we're too afraid to say it. Time is racing. Every time we have this conversation, hearts are breaking, face to face, but we don't know how to face it. Almost perfect, but not adjacent. Time is racing, babe, and I don't want you to waste it.
What's up, baby?
Hey, honey. I truly enjoy having these for real conversations with you because, it gives us an opportunity to talk about our marriage. I believe it deepens our intimacy. What do you think?
I love it, because we get to really share our conversations, what we talk about, how we talk, how we engage with each other. But I really, really love this one because
Why?
we finally get to talk about, apologizing in marriage. Apologies. What does apology really look like?
Apologies. Okay. All right. Well, you sure you want to talk about this? Because you don't sound that exciting.
Huh? You don't think? I mean, because this is like a sore spot for husbands. Because we always got to apologize. Y'all don't apologize.
What?
Y'all do not apologize.
Well, honey, I think it has a lot to do with the
very
fact
seldomly.
that we're very seldomly wrong.
I know you were going to say that. That's why.
Okay. So let's talk about this. When I am wrong, all right? Because I am wrong sometimes. There's times
you
where...
admitting it. I love that. That's another reason why I like this, because you tend to confess some things on recording, and I love that.
That's why you came up with this topic, I see.
Oh, no, I didn't come up with this topic.
Okay, so you want to talk about how we should apologize to one another. Do you believe that there's a right and wrong way to apologize to your spouse? I do.
Okay. Let's start off with your theory first. Let's talk about it. So what is the right way to apologize? Because, seriously, it's important in marriage. Yeah. Because there should be, apologies and forgiveness and things like that. That's like the ongoing cycle in marriage. That should be, I don't want to say cycle, a system in marriage that we should operate in. But for you, why? Why is that important?
Well, first of all, I think we both have different methods and approaches to apologizing. And I think that we're going to be talking about that today.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I love when you apologize to me with your words. Okay. Like when you are specific too. Don't generalize. I apologize for whatever you think I did to you.
Oh, that's where you're going at.
Don't know. Yeah, like you like generalizing stuff. And you might say...
I thought you was going to say, when I like to feed you.
See?
I feed you when I'm sorry. I'll bring you something.
Return the sender. I don't want it.
You don't want that?
No, return the sender. That's not an apology, man. That's like
why?
Avoidance behavior to me. Like I get that it is a good gesture. You don't do that anymore because we fought about that. Like we've talked about it. And I don't want to say fought, but we've talked about it. Yeah. And I just feel like it's more genuine, and I feel like it's the issue, whatever the issue might be, is resolved through words. Communication. Mm-hmm. So if you come into the house with a kind gesture, a plate of wings and some French fries,
that you absolutely just so happen to be still mad at me, but ate the food up.
I mean, I gotta eat to live, but
we might share that.
But the issue itself isn't resolved.
Right.
I may accept or decline.
Okay.
Your gesture. But the issue in my heart is still unresolved until we've actually had words exchanged and we've actually talked about it. Mm-hmm. We've gained an understanding, mm-hmm. and we've also put an action in place to prevent that issue from happening in the future. Mm-hmm. So I need us to actually talk about it. Okay. So that's really the only mm-hmm. thing for me that really closes the door of the offense. You know, now sometimes I give you grace. I know you've been talking to me, and a lot of husbands want.
I love that. Thank you. Because sometimes,
want that.
Sometimes I know for a lot of women, you want your husband to be bleeding, crying, snotting, bending,
remorseful,
down on bending knees like boys to men, doing all these
genuine,
things, and that is the only sign that a man is remorseful. And that's something. Honestly, that was a challenge for me at first. I was like, babe, I'm really sorry. I feel sorry. I own up what I did, but it might be, monotone with, just because this is the way I talk sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so I might say, hey, babe, I apologize. I really was sorry for it. But that sometimes that don't be enough.
Because you stop there. So notice how you just said, I'm sorry for. I'm sorry for what, though?
Sorry for what? What? Look.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
And that's what I learned, though. That's what I learned. I learned
just say for what.
I learned not to generalize.
Yeah.
Anything. And I'd say, hey, babe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel like that. But you're looking for the specific. Like, what did you do? Do you understand what you did? So
do you understand what I'm about to say? What do I normally always say?
Gravity.
There you go, love.
That's you right there. The gravity.
I say LeTroy back.
The gravity. She got to take it to the universe type understanding of what I did. Do you understand the gravity?
That's right. Do you understand the weight of what your actions cause? Like, it's all about understanding. Like the Bible says, in all thy getting,
that's fair,
get an understanding. So I just feel like there's a higher potential for that offense to happen again if you don't really understand the gravity of what you've done.
And I think the both of us want that. I think both man and woman want that. I don't think it's only for the wife, because there was some things that, I wanted to talk about. You might have apologized and say, I'm sorry. And I might be like, sorry for what? Like, you ain't saying what you sorry for.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree. Because, I remember...
What?
So a lot of times the things that I'm apologizing for has to do with my mouth. Would you agree? Over the years, if I have done something to you, mm-hmm. or maybe you just haven't told me now, because y'all be holding stuff and don't be telling us what y'all be mad at now. So the only thing that I'm aware of, let me say it that way.
Most of the time, yeah, what you say.
Okay, so that other percentage.
What you say hurts.
The other percentage is undisclosed to me. Okay.
I'm just be real. It hurts sometimes. Okay.
And I don't want to hurt you, babe. I'm gonna just say it right now. For that other 10% that you haven't told me about, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Because you ain't giving me no specifics.
Because I don't know what it is.
You ain't giving me no specifics.
Man, y'all be filing stuff and bringing it up when we bring up our issues, though.
Because that's when, now I can't even figure out the specifics. So now when you bring your complaint, then that's when it pops in my head.
That's not fair.
Oh, yeah, that's because you just did that to me.
Bae.
And didn't apologize for it.
We can't do that out here in these streets. When it happens, please come to your girl. I'm here for it, babe. I'll apologize if I'm really wrong, though.
Husbands' lives matter, too.
And they do, babe. This is not happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. I want a healthy marriage.
Right.
And if in the times that I have blatantly done something to you that mm-hmm. I'm aware of, mm-hmm. after you've apologized to me, I'll come and apologize to you.
See, that's the part that's the part right there that I got to stand for the husbands, because that's the part right there mm-hmm. that gets on our nerves.
What part?
Now, I understand the why, mm-hmm. and hopefully after this podcast, husbands will understand the why.
Why what?
Why we have to go down first. Why we have to take an L first.
Apologizing isn't taking an L.
When we know sometimes y'all be wrong sometimes, mm-hmm. but we have to make it right. Blessed are the peacemakers. See, I'm blessed.
All right.
Blessed are the peacemakers.
No, you did not.
No, look, if we go
hit me with no scripture.
If we gonna stay
okay.
If we gonna stick with the word is the word. So
you're the husband.
The husbands are peacemakers, and we should be.
Okay, I'll let you have that.
And but we get sometimes, I don't want to say get on our nerves, but sometimes it's a challenge for us because we have emotions too, we have feelings, and sometimes we feel like we don't need to apologize because sometimes we feel like we ain't wrong. And so we'll be stuck there.
And so maybe that's why y'all be like, I apologize for whatever you say I did. Whatever you say I did, I apologize.
And so we be stuck there, but then the thing is, like, we know you can be back and forth on the details, but you're losing your spouse. You see? We sitting there trying to prove a point, but I don't want to lose your heart. You know what I'm saying? But I've done that many times. So many people did that many times. And what's the smirk for?
I'm just hearing you out because see, when we do these for real conversations, it gives me a window into how you think. I love to hear how you think. I want to understand your psychology.
You want to know what I'm thinking right now?
I do. What are you thinking right now?
I love the other night when you were giving me a passcode to enter into my orchid.
How are we changing the whole subject out here?
You just said that you want to know what I'm thinking. You just said you like knowing what I'm thinking,
and
right?
what was the passcode?
Love, listening, and
loyalty. Loyalty, listening, and love. Okay, in other news.
So that might be another topic about
LeTroy, I cannot.
Yeah, that might be.
You just took me all the way there. That was a night and a half too. Okay. See, babe. Okay. We're supposed to be helping the people. So apologize to your spouse like this, but I agree, babe. You're so attractive.
So apologize. One of the things that gets on our nerve sometime because we know that the wives are wrong. Sometimes y'all be wrong now.
I'm not going. Okay, so
sometimes y'all be stubborn and y'all know y'all wrong, but it's something. But I know now, and hopefully whoever's listening as a husband and even as a wife, to help you to understand the why. Number one, husbands are the leaders. So we talk a lot about that, and so we should be the first. But then what we discovered is that the main need for a woman is security. If a wife feels like you ain't gonna die for me, you ain't gonna sacrifice for me, and matter of fact, most of the time, wives, in an argument or something like that, they feel like we don't listen, we don't hear, we don't,
Yeah, we feel unloved. At the core, with a woman, is all about safety. So if I come to you and I jump off that ledge and I be vulnerable, right? Yep. And I come to you and I apologize for something, and then you decline my apology or reject my apology. I love you, sir, but you have in the past.
How many times? Only one time I can remember where.
LeTroy.
But matter of fact, that was because you didn't specifically say what you apologized.
Nah. I apologize for cussing you out. Most of the time, if I'm apologizing, it has something to do with my mouth.
And it wasn't only that.
What else have I done to you?
Apologize for cussing me out, manipulating me, and making me feel like a tiny small man. That's what I wanted you to say.
Okay.
Making me feel like
I have to elaborate on everything I said with my mouth.
You made me feel like a tiny little man. That's what I want you to follow, and I want you to say it like that too. Okay. I made you feel like a tiny man. That's the way I want you to do.
Keep that in mind, but that should never ever happen again in the name of Jesus. Okay, we're not there anymore, Lord.
Right.
But okay, so maybe you wanted me to speak to how my words made you feel. Maybe that's something that we could add when we're apologizing.
Yeah, but I don't want you to get off because you were saying that it's vulnerability for a woman to apologize because you gotta feel secure.
And I also believe that women aren't as used to rejection as much as you guys are. You guys, y'all always got to be the first. You're approaching a girl, you're pursuing a girl, and so in life you have gotten rejected.
A lot.
But we're the ones that's being pursued a lot more, right? And so, if I come after you and I pursue your heart, it hurts for you to decline and reject and you have, and I remember those times, and it was hurtful. And so, it's about safety,
right.
So if I feel safe, that, okay, if I go in here, I know I did something wrong. If I come to you, that you're going to receive my apology, because your little butt has been stubborn as well, sir.
How you get on my butt? I know now. See, that's another thing you're gonna have to apologize for. I have no butt, okay? I understand that. You ain't got to tell the world I ain't got no butt.
LeTroy, stop. Okay, so I apologize for how my words made you feel. So that's what you're looking for, right? And I guess we are looking for the similar things, because I'm looking for that too. Right. So when you apologize to me for something you may have said or done, I'm also looking for you to elaborate on how your actions made me feel. So you're apologizing for the emotions and everything that's involved with whatever happened, right? So when we enter our spouse's presence and we say, I'm sorry, forgive me, babe, you got to be more specific about what because you want to close the door. Right. We want to make sure that there's no opportunity for bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness. And so we really want to penetrate the person's heart. Okay. And so that's my issue. My issue, love, is I just want to feel safe, emotionally safe. So I don't think it's like women don't want to be accountable or women don't want to apologize. Women just want to feel safe.
Because, that's a good point to talk about. And that's what I understand now. But what I think what men got to understand is that part right there, you got to feel safe. And to be vulnerable for a woman is different from a man, like you said. It takes a lot for y'all to be vulnerable, because we should be the one that's caring for y'all, protecting y'all, providing for y'all. And so when you don't see that sacrificial, I would say it like this: you don't give the apology out of fear and protection.
That's what it is. So we're guarding it, when I feel safe, and maybe that's why we do it after.
And it might not be all women. I know I don't want to.
That's true. We don't want to
blanket all of the women, but for the most part, it's natural for a woman to say, "Nah, let me. I'm not going to approach you. You should be pursuing me right now."
Because of that need for emotional safety and security. Yeah. So, would you agree, though, that there's a high percentage of times that I have apologized after you have apologized? Like, after you've opened that door of safety, you made me feel safe by loving me first, apologizing, even if you contributed 1%. If you come into the space and you say, babe, I apologize for, and you elaborate, and then I'm like, okay, he wants the marriage, he wants me, he wants to reconcile, and then I feel safe enough to now say, well, you know what, babe, I also apologize for what I said. I also apologize for what I did. Yeah. And I'm pretty much very vulnerable at that point, because I now feel safe.
Yeah, and I love that too, and those are the times, even though I used to struggle with that, when you do, I noticed that when I do make the atmosphere safe by me first being the one to kind of, move towards reconciling, then you come, it makes me feel like you care about me now. I feel heard. I feel understood. I feel like you treated me like a person. You know what I'm saying? And, and so, but.
I get you. And I hear you on that, because, I commend you as the head, as the leader, as the husband, for always going first. I can only imagine the weight and the responsibility of that position that you do have. I greatly appreciate that. So honestly, babe, sometimes you don't even have to initially even apologize to me first. All I have to do is feel safe. If you just, approach me, if we've been at odds with each other and there's some tension, if you just enter my space with love, care, compassion, as long as, again, I feel energy of love. That's what I'm trying to say. As long as I feel the energy of love, that you're making efforts to reconcile with me, I'll apologize, because I now feel safe. So it's just all about apologizing for a woman, in my opinion, is about safety.
And that's so good.
So I don't even think you got to apologize first, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I agree with that, and I think that because of those dynamics between a husband and wife, if you understand the dynamics of how us as a husband have the responsibility and how the nature of a woman is. It's
to be pursued.
To be pursued.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's like I think we shared a podcast before, but it's so important to understand each other's nature. You know, and don't want to get into that now, but what I do want to get into is like why a husband should see how important it is to apologize, you know, because being the prophet, priest, and the king, we have to go first. And that's not, like you said, not all the time. I don't have to, I just got to make the atmosphere safe. But one of the things I feel like a husband should be first in everything is because, number one, we're the leaders. And we need to understand the importance of creating the right atmosphere, because if we don't take charge as the gatekeepers, then it opens up the door for the enemy now to come in. If when we're disconnected, that's why we got to reconnect quickly.
Absolutely.
The enemy, the Bible says that, you know, to come back together quickly, because the enemy will create a foothold for the enemy to come in.
Absolutely.
Because if we're disconnected, now you got the devil talking on one side. You know, but many side, I'm on the edge of the doggone bed. Mad, back turned, all I'm feeling your cold.
Absolutely.
Coming from the other side of the bed.
Because whatever had happened, you know, when you don't make an effort to pursue your wife's heart, it makes her feel abandoned. It makes her feel alone. It makes her feel unprotected. Yeah. So that's really at the core, I feel, what this apologizing thing is about. Yeah. It's just, you know, us as wives having this sense of safety when you pursue our heart. So it's not all about you being wrong, right, and I'm being right. It's about you being the leader. That's what I think is mostly what it's about.
That's what it is. And once that, because there's an order. Once the order is set in place, God, Jesus, husband, wife, so on and so forth, you know, then it kind of balances out in our relationship. Now, it eventually gets to the place to where we can have that discussion. We can have a talk of understanding. Mutual understanding.
Absolutely. Because I want to understand you too, you know, like for real, like if I have done or said something that have hurt you, again, I will own that and I will be accountable to that, you know, once that environment of safety is created. And so what we don't like though, when these type of apologies happen where in the past you would come to like try to poke at me and spark a conversation, feel me out, ask crazy questions that you already know the answer to.
Okay. I always do that.
You know, like, what we doing?
I used to do that.
Yeah, and I didn't like that.
You didn't like that?
That's not an apology.
Like, is the refrigerator still in the kitchen?
That's not an apology.
But, babe, I'm trying to feel you out. I'm trying to feel.
What we need to do is talk about what you just said or what you just did.
Am I still black? I'm trying to feel. Are you still talking to me?
Okay.
And I'm gonna let you. And I'm okay. Instead of,
and I'm gonna let you go right on ahead and feel yourself out.
I'm dancing around the issue.
By yourself.
We dancing around the issue. You know what I'm saying? You've done it too now. You do that too.
When I've done something to you?
Yeah.
Really?
You trying to feel me out?
I'm unaware of that.
You trying to feel me out? Trying to see if I'm talking or if I'm in some kind of mood or something.
Really? Like see? Here we go again. I'm finding out stuff during the podcast. You ain't never tell me that.
Should we need therapy after this?
See how y'all be holding stuff. And I didn't know you felt that way. Yeah. You felt that I hold stuff when I know I'm wrong. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
A little passive sometimes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, love.
But I used to do that. Well, I still do that. I can't even lie. Like, because I don't really know if our interaction was offensive to you. And so I might try to talk.
But you know the atmosphere has shifted.
I know the atmosphere shifted. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? She ain't talking. Now she's short with her answers. I'm like, okay, what's going on now? And then it ain't until we have to. And this before would cause us a major issue, because when you finally come out and say it, now I'm offended. I'm responding in defense, not offense. Yep. And I'm like, okay, now see, I shouldn't even tell you what was wrong. Because, you know, and now back and forth.
Yeah. And so apologizing to your spouse is important. It is vital. Yeah. But I do believe that there's an apology language that we need to have. Mm-hmm. And at the core, how would you say that language should show up? Like, what should that sound like? What should that look like?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think that if you sincerely, like you said, I'm going to use your word, if you sincerely understand the gravity of what you've done to somebody, then you should think about it before you actually, apologize. Because you don't just blanket, everything with a dry apology that has no really heart towards it.
Absolutely. That's the word I was looking for. Heart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that, if at any time your spouse says that they hurt or have been offended by you, that you should really sincerely come to them in a way that shows that you care about what you just did. Absolutely. And how you just made them feel. With a sincere heart, soft, gentle, and in a way that says that, hey, I'm here for you and I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about a time when we've had a lot, we share a lot about our story and our journey. Yeah. And I remember one time we were in this heated argument and man, it was just bad. And I had said some things that were cutting you below the belt, right? And you said, why are you talking to your friend like that? I'm supposed to be your friend. And that had just hurt my whole heart. God. You said, why are you talking to me like that?
I said we're best friends.
We're best friends.
Like, why are you talking to me like that?
That hurts.
And then I said, this hurts.
Yes. And I appreciated you coming back like that because I think that was vulnerable of you to say that it was hurting and that we're best friends. And that allowed me to look within myself. Honestly, you weren't there, but I'm sitting there like, okay, maybe I need to fall back. Like you're going a little bit too far, right? And so I came back and I did apologize. You know, babe, look, I was intoxicated by anger, whatever that was, but you are my friend. And I deeply, deeply apologize. And I was very specific on what I said. And I said, please forgive me for, because God say be angry, but don't sin. And that was sinful, when I'm cussing you and I'm doing this and, there's a reason for why we do things, but then there's also an excuse that we like to give ourselves. And though I felt I had a reason, there was still no excuse to hurt my friend. I could have, kept my reason. I could have been angry. I could have went to God about it, prayed about it, and still remained in self-control. Right. Okay. So at the end of the day, there was still no excuse to hurt you, even though I felt hurt. I was reacting out of hurt. All right. And so at the core, if you know you're wrong, if you know you sinned, and if we be trying to make excuses for our actions at the end of the day, because I believe we all have a reason a lot of times that we can go to the grave on. Right. But at the core, if it caused hurt and harm and pain, like just apologize.
Make it right.
Just make it right. Yeah.
And even if you feel like you aren't the one that has wronged somebody, make it right. Yep. Because that's biblical, but that takes maturity.
It does.
There's a story in the Bible where, he talks about, I think it was Paul talking to the church. I can't remember exactly where. But he said, in this church, I hear that there's quarrels amongst each other. And y'all got the nerve to take God-type situations to court. In front of people that ain't even saved, that don't even have, not even in the kingdom. Yes. He said, why y'all are carnal? Why are you back and forth?
Probably been the Corinthians church. That church was carnal.
It's ridiculous. Like, why y'all going back and forth with each other in the kingdom, and to the point where you got to take your situations to a worldly circuit?
Yeah, we spiritually immature.
Yeah, spiritually immature, and that goes with marriage. And he said, why not take the loss? Ooh. Why not suffer yourself to be defrauded? What he was saying is like, why does it matter so much that you take a loss right now?
That's good, LeTroy.
Save the relationship.
That's so good. That's so good.
Who cares who's wrong? You know what I'm saying? Take the loss, forgive, move on. This is how the kingdom works. And so
that's what's up. And that's the realization. You should look. That's the realization you and I had to come to in our marriage, because we felt like we were in a ring, a boxing ring all the time. You know, again, I always use this illustration that husband and wife should be attached, you know, naked and unashamed, oneness, togetherness, but we were detached and we were enemies, literally coming at each other, you know. And so, you know, I just believe that the marriage is the most important thing. That's what we came to the realization and say, you know what? I love you. I want you. Right. I do not want a divorce. We're not even going there. It's not even that serious. You know, I do have a different perspective than you do. But at the end of the day, I love you. At the end of the day, you know, who's right or wrong doesn't even matter. I apologize for anything that I have contributed to the tension between us. And that's it. Let's move forward. I forgive you, and I hope that you will forgive me for what I've done to hurt you.
And that's the heart of God.
Come on through.
That's the heart of God.
Yes.
If you really, because the main thing that matters is the marriage.
Absolutely.
It don't matter to
just
come.
Apologize.
Just get over it. Just apologize. Just make things right. Always have the heart to, you know, fight for the connection. And that's all it's about.
Yeah. And when the person apologizes, forgive. That's another aspect. Hopefully in another upcoming podcast, we'll talk about forgiveness because, you know, if that person has taken that L and have been tried to be a peacemaker, you know, we have to be a receiver of that apology and not hold grudges. Yeah, so let's talk about that in an upcoming podcast.
And we will. And I think, you know, there's another story that came, and I know we're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
But there's another story where, you know, there was somebody, and you remember the story. He was going to give his offering at the altar. And the Lord say, hold on, go make it right.
Go make it right with your brother, your sister, your friend, your spouse that you see every day. Come on. Before you trying to cry and snot at the altar. How about you go show me that you got the love of God on the inside of you first. And make it right, and then you can bring your gift.
See, he want to make an offering. We want to go to church. You got
we want to be all holy and religious.
You see, you got people out there that are doing that.
Yes,
going to church, giving offering, serving, ministering, doing whatever.
Yes.
You know, you out there want to win the world, but you got offense in your heart over something that your spouse did.
Let's go. Come on, boo.
And so that's what the Bible says. Go make it right with your spouse first.
That's the word.
And so that's what we learn to do. I love how we, like, if we get into something, we fight it out. Even if it gets to the point where, you know, we may be arguing or something, we don't leave each other. We stay right there and we keep coming back.
Absolutely.
No, let's talk about this.
Absolutely. We're resilient in pursuing each other's heart.
Yeah, in pursuing each other's heart. And I thank God that, you know, we may not be perfect, but we're definitely better.
To God be the glory. All right, babe. So that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah. So if anybody, you know, if Married for Real has been a blessing to you,
yes.
If Married for Real has been, you know, giving you some tools and nuggets and helping your marriage grow, then we want to give y'all an opportunity to support. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
man?
yes.
You know, that's one thing I love. You know, when things help us,
absolutely,
we give towards it because if it helps us, it'll help other people.
Absolutely. And so if you guys have appreciated our time today, the information that you've been given, absolutely go to our website, marriedforreal.com, and there's a give tab. You can go ahead and give and support there, or through Cash App at Thank You M4R. Thank you M4R. All right, that's it.
All right, and remember, if you take these messages and you apply it to your life, you too can say through it all,
we still win.
Certified marriage mentors LeTroy and Christina Brown have a new book, The Marriage Mouth. They are the founders of Married for Real and have been reaching hundreds of thousands of people around the world with their transparent and relevant approach to common marriage issues. So many people have been asking for the book, and now you can have it for yourself. This dynamic book is full of powerful topics, prayers, and confessions. It's a book you'll never be done with. It was designed to use as a spiritual guide and tool to address most marital situations. The Marriage Mouth. Your mouth is a weapon. Don't use it against your spouse. Order your copy today at Amazon.com or go to our website at marriedforreal.com.